What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. GGFOREX here, and over for high demand on my last video about the traders with edge. Obviously, you guys said in the comments, if you haven't watched that video, the link is up there, by the way, but a lot of you guys said in the comments that you should look at 5%ers. So I was like, okay, cool. Haven't really looked into them deeply. It's only fair that I have a look at 5%ers as well to see what they offer, because apparently they offer their own funding or instant funding service as well. So I was like, okay, let's have a look. Let's dive in. Let's have a look at the 5%ers, see what they offer, and see which one I believe is better. So let's jump in. Okay, guys, so we are on the 5%ers funding program. If you just go to the top of our website, go on funding programs, go on instant funding, and then go on to funded programs, it will take you to this section, and you have multiple choices. Obviously, you've got low risk, aggressive, and all programs. I'm going to focus on low risk to begin with, just because I feel like that's where most people are going to start to anyway. But it's definitely interesting to look at. Obviously, if you remember from the last video, remember the link is still up there, guys. And I'll put it down below as well, just in case you haven't watched it yet. Obviously, the traders with edge, instant funding, you can start at $2,500, and it costs you $125 to participate. So really not that much at all. With the 5%ers, you can start with 6,000 is the lowest one you can start with. However, it is a little bit more expensive. I think it works out at like $230. I just did the maths on it. Yeah, $230. So, wrong one. So $230 to participate. Okay, I think if I did the extra extension, because you can customize it, I think mine added up to be $160. So potentially you get a better deal with the 5%ers. So that is pretty good. Start with 6,000 and it only costs you maybe less than $100 more to get that challenge. However, things get a bit interesting in this, and it's not 100% clear. So please let me know in the comment box below if I say anything wrong, purely because I am going to get stuff wrong. This is just how I'm quickly taking a look at what they offer to begin with. But I wish they had the same rules for the different stages. And by that, what I mean is, if you have a look, you've got your profit target of 6.2%, okay? But it's only 6.2% for, or 6 to 7% for low-risk plans, and it's 12% for more the aggressive plans. With all the rest of the stages, profit target is 10% for the low risk and 25% for the aggressive risk. So it's kind of like they sort of make it easy to start, but then everything after that is 10%. Kind of doesn't really make any sense. I'm not complaining, obviously, because traders with edge is 10% all the way through regardless. And again, you get 6 months to begin with. I don't know if that changes for different plans. Let's just find out. To be clear, the maximum expiry time applies only for the very first stage of the program. In all other levels, I mean, okay, cool. So that rule is exactly the same. So you get 6 months for the first stage, and when you go past that, so obviously when you get funded on the 6,000 and you go past that, then there is no sort of 6 months maximum time to try and scale up all the way to 4 million by the looks of it. So obviously 4 million is insane. It just seems like a great place to start to get funded. Obviously the profit split is the same. However, stop loss required. Obviously you can't risk any more than 2% per trade. Obviously you need to have a stop loss to be in this, same as traders with edge. But your stop loss, you can't risk more than 2% in a trade, which is completely understandable. I don't see why you would want to risk more than 2% per trade. You only have a 1 to 10 leverage. So I think traders with edge is 1 to 20. Again, if I got that wrong, just go back on the video and it's definitely in there, so you guys can check that out. But yeah, so I'm trying to work out the stop out. Like, how much can you actually lose? Like, what is your limit? Because I know on traders of edge, it's 2.5% per day or 5% overall. Those are the rules. I know this is equity based, so it's a bit more complicated. It's not balance based. So if you know me and you know my history of funded platforms, I don't like equity based drawdowns. They can get confusing. I try to avoid it as much as possible, but I understand why prop firms add that in. And obviously with this, by the looks of it, if you make money, then your equity grows for that day. So you can leverage the money you've made and not kind of break any of their rules. So you can scale nicely without being too scared. Obviously, if you like win the first 2 or 3 trades for that day, and let's say you want to go for another one, then you can sort of leverage that money, which is fine. That doesn't really affect me because I don't really trade that much in a single day. So it's kind of like it refreshes after that 24-hour period anyway. So I'm not too bothered about it. So the stop out level is set to 6% on levels 1 and 2 and 4% on levels 3 and above. Right, okay, so I'm guessing for levels 1 and 2 that you can't lose more than 6% of the account, which is fine. I think that is still more than traders with edge, so that is good. But for levels 3 and above, it's 4%. So again, slightly worse than traders with edge. So it's weird how they beat him at the beginning stage, but then kind of as you get more and more money, you get less wiggle room. Kind of makes sense. If traders with edge, they offer up to 1.28 million. With the 5%ers, they offer you up to 4 million. So I can see their point of just trying to protect their capital as much as possible. Again, you're just going to have to use super low risk. Obviously, you're not going to be risking 2% per trade. You're probably not even going to be risking 0.5% per trade. You're probably going to risk 0.25% per trade. So you kind of have to figure out what is your win rate on your usual trading system at the moment to try and figure out, okay, well, how many trades do I get to lose in a row before I bust 6%? And then when you break up to the bigger levels, you go, right, how many trades can I risk in a row to bust 4%? Right? Because obviously if you're risking 1% per trade, 4 losses in a row, you lost the account. Or if you're risking 0.5% per trade, 8 losses in a row, you lost the account. All right, if you're risking quarter, then you got 16 losses in a row before you lose the account. So maybe that's how you're going to have to do it. Is it going to take you a lot longer to make your 10% to get to the next level when you're past level 3 and above, when you've only got 4% drawdown? Yeah, I guess so. But then if you're obviously on bigger money, then it's kind of beneficial, I guess, in a way. Obviously, if you only make 2% that month for whatever reason, 2% of a $3 million account or $4 million account, is obviously still going to be a nice chunk of change. And obviously, you're being super safe. And the prop firm's happy with you because you're being safe with their money as well. So I totally get that rule. It's fine. I don't mind it at all. So overall, the drawdown rule is fine. Like with every other platform, you just have to lower your risk per trade. You can't get these fast, massive wins. You just have to babysit it the whole time, which is why I don't like looking at profit and loss. I just look at it as a percentage, right? If you think of everything as a percentage, you don't really care at all. That's fine. Leverage is 1 to 10. Again, we went over that 6 months. And let's have a look at this 4 million. Let's see how it works out. So it guarantees funding, which is currently a $4 million real funded account. 4 million is a big account to manage. However, this is not our final offer to you. Once you accomplish your goal of 4 million account, we will discuss you and go with further targets. So potentially it is not capped at 4 million. If you're obviously crushing it consistently, let's say you're making 5% each month with only 4% drawdown and you're in a £4 million account, it's a very nice chunk of change. And obviously, they'll just keep giving you money if you can continuously make them more money as well. So obviously, you only take 50% of that, but still a nice chunk of change. Growth agenda, double capital profit milestone up to 4 million guaranteed. Okay, so obviously, you can scale a lot faster than this with the 5%ers. So yeah, definitely worth having a look at. I would like to know if any of you guys have used the 5%ers before, how their customer services or customer service are. I like to have a good, solid customer services. If they offer a free trial, I would like to try that out first just to see how their spreads are. You definitely need to go investigate into how you can keep funding this. It'd be really interesting to see how they treat you along the process away. Do they like delay payouts? One thing I do want to know is obviously, do they allow payouts, and also can you still scale with a payout. So obviously with the traders of edge, if you make 5%, you could withdraw that 5% and then make another 5%, and then you still qualify for making that 10% growth to allow you to scale up to the next plan, which I think is amazing. So hopefully, if they have that rule in place, then this could be better than traders of edge, 100%. So it'd be nice to see. So let's have a look into this. So payout is issued every month starting at the second level program. So I assume that you don't get any payouts when you get your 6.2% or whatever on stage 1. You only get a payout when you're on the £24,000 stage, which is, I guess, is okay. And then you take your 24,000 and you take, you know, your profit target of 10%, and then they take half of that as well. So I guess that makes sense. You make 2,400, they take half, and then you're left with 1,200, which again is not bad, I guess. And then obviously you level up after that. So good to know. Receiving payouts has never been deducted from your forward progression towards your next milestone. So with 5% you get both growth and payouts. No need to decide, which is amazing. So obviously, that was one of the biggest takeaways from me, was on the Traders of Edge. You can still grow your bank account whilst growing your trading account at the same time. So that is a massive game changer for me looking into 5%ers. It's slightly more expensive to get started, but then you start with a higher amount and you can scale up a lot faster. I would like to see what it goes after this. I'm guessing it just doubles and doubles and doubles. So after 24,000, you go to 48,000, right? And after 48,000, you go to like 96,000. So I feel like you can grow a lot faster. The rules are slightly more restrictive, aka you can't lose as much. But then if they're offering you more money, then it kind of makes sense into why they would do that. But I do like the fact that obviously it's only 6 months on the first stage, and then it's unlimited for the rest of the stages, which is completely fine. But yeah, so for me, 5%ers could be the one. Definitely one to try out. I do want to know if you guys have had to deal with these people before and how you got on with them, because again, I don't know if they're legit. I don't know if they pay out. I haven't really seen a lot of videos about them and people getting withdrawals from them. So again, it's kind of new. I don't know where they're based. I don't know how long they've been around for. But it's definitely one to investigate a lot further and do some background checks in this company, because that is very strong competition to Traders of Edge. I am doing a free trial with Traders with Edge at the moment. I would like to see if they offer a free trial. Yeah, so it's definitely something to have a look at, do some research. I probably won't do the aggressive one myself. I don't see the need to grow that quickly, I assume. For me, I'm perfectly happy with the low risk option. I just risk less, takes me longer, but it's a bit more safe. It's a bit more my style. So yeah, the 5%ers is definitely appealing to me. But yeah. Okay guys, so the 5%ers, it looks really good. It's definitely going to have to be looked into a lot more. If I can find a free trial, if I'm being blind, let me know in the comment box below. But overall, I think that looks really nice. It's a definite strong competition to Traders of Edge. I do like how you can scale faster. It's still the same profit targets, even though the first profit target is a lot easier to reach. So yeah, that is super strong competition. The 5%ers could be the one for me to do the instant funding thing. I feel like it'll obviously grow a lot faster. You make 10%, you start at 6,000, then go to 24,000, rather than 2.5, 10, 20, 40, 80, 160, etc. Okay, let me interrupt myself here, because I forgot to say that can you hold positions overnight, over the weekend, and through news? And the answer is yes. Yes, you can. Banging. Right, back to the video. You go from 6 to 24 to 48 to 96. So yeah, it's definitely a lot faster. Yes, you do have less wiggle room, but you do have more money. And obviously, if you're making a profit split at 50% on 10% on a $4 million account, that's a nice chunk of change. That's $200,000 into your bank account. Can't really complain, can you? But yeah, so It could be the one. It could be the one. Who knows? Let me know in the comments below. Join the GGFOREX group if you want to have more content on this. Anyway, guys, love you all. Bye.